Hello everyone, welcome back to Molly's Cozy Kitchen. Today we are going to be making s'mores completely from scratch. We're going to start by making homemade marshmallows. This recipe comes from the Destiny 2 cookbook, so let's get started. First, we are going to bloom 2.5 tablespoons of powdered gelatin in a half a cup of cold water. You can do this either in the base of a stand mixer or a large bowl if you just have a hand mixer. Now give everything a quick stir. We don't want to overmix it, just make sure everything's covered in cold water. Now let's make our sugar syrup. Medium saucepan, combine 2 cups of granulated sugar, a half a cup of cold water, a quarter teaspoon of salt, and a half a cup of light corn syrup. Stir everything up and set the heat to medium-high. Cook with a candy thermometer until the temperature reaches 240 degrees. This is known as the softball stage. Mix often, and once it reaches 240 degrees, turn off the heat. Alright, so because I have a hand mixer, I'm employing the help of my brother. He is going to start on a low speed while I slowly stream in the hot sugar mixture. If you have a stand mixer, then you can use the whisk attachment and just pour in the hot sugar while starting on a low speed. Once we have absolutely every drop of the hot mixture in there, you can set the heat speed to high and blend with 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract until light and fluffy. Alright, we have a 9x13 inch pan. We're going to liberally coat both the pan and a rubber spatula with nonstick spray. Be careful that you get into all the edges and the sides. The marshmallow stuff is so sticky. And we're also going to take some powdered sugar and sprinkle it into the pan as well. Again, make sure you get into every nook and cranny. This might look like a lot of powdered sugar, but don't worry, we're going to tap out the excess over the sink. It might form small clumps with the nonstick spray, but that's fine. That'll just help it not stick. Alright, now we're going to pour in this gorgeous fluffy marshmallow mixture. Then we're going to even out the surface with our rubber spatula. Yeah, you can see this stuff is very sticky, so it did take me a while to get some of it out. But if you want, you can save some extra in the bowl for a fluffernutter sandwich. That's what I had for lunch this day, and it was incredible. Alright, once we have everything smoothed out, we're going to let the marshmallows sit at room temperature overnight. Now let's make our graham crackers. In a large bowl, beat together 10 tablespoons of softened butter with 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar. Beat together until soft and creamy. Then, in a small bowl, or as you can see here, a measuring pitcher, combine a 1/4 cup of molasses, a 1/4 cup of honey, and a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of milk or milk substitute. Just whisk that all up until homogeneous and frothy. Then set aside. Alright, now we can make our dry ingredients. We have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of whole wheat flour, 1.25 teaspoons of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Whisk that all up, and now we can finally assemble all of our cookie dough. I'm going to start by adding in a tablespoon of vanilla that I forgot earlier, mixing that up, then adding in all of our dry ingredients. You're going to start with a spoon, but it's going to quickly become dry, so you're going to use your hands to crumble it up until it forms like a wet sand consistency. Once that happens, you're going to add in your honey milk mixture. Mix that up until a nice sticky dough forms. If it's too sticky and wet, you can add in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Alright, the dough should be pretty sticky, so we're going to divide it in half and wrap each half in plastic wrap until we have 2 discs of delicious dough. Chill that in the fridge for at least 2 hours. Cookie dough chills, we are going to cut our marshmallows. As you can see here, I have sprinkled the surface with powdered sugar, and I'm using a serrated knife that I have oiled generously to keep it from sticking. You may need to re-oil throughout the process. I'm going for medium-sized marshmallows, but you can do big marshmallows, you can do small marshmallows, and it helps to kind of predetermine what size you want your marshmallows before you begin cutting, but you can also make changes later on. Then we're going to put it in a bag that has an equal mixture of cornstarch and powdered sugar. Shake everything up so it doesn't stick together. And these marshmallows can be stored at room temperature for up to 2 weeks. Now, we can finally get to baking the cookies. one of our 2 dough discs out on a very well floured work surface. This dough is very sticky, so use more flour than you think you're going to need. Roll it out evenly, being sure not to tear the dough. And then you're going to use a pizza cutter to cut even-ish cookies out of it. I'm going for squares, which aren't classic, but hey, it's what I want. So you can also use cookie cutters or cut out the classic rectangles. We're going to put it, once we have all of our squares cut out. This is so satisfying, by the way. And if you don't have a pizza cutter, you can just use a knife. All right, we're going to put them on a baking sheet lined with baking parchment. And just use a fork to dock those classic holes in it. This is also to help steam escape in the oven. Once we have all of our cookies rolled out, you're going to bake in an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes, flipping halfway through. Now, just let these guys cool before you can assemble your s'mores. Of course, my brother and I aren't very patient, so we wanted to try one of these guys while it was warm. And yeah, it was incredible. So cinnamony and sweet and delicious. But let's get to the main event, the s'mores. All right, so we have a marshmallow, and I'm just using a kitchen torch, but you can also use a burner or an open fire. And look at that gorgeous golden color. All of our hard work totally paid off. Once you have your marshmallow nice and toasty, sandwich it between one of your graham crackers, take a piece of chocolate, I'm using classic Hershey's, and sandwich with your other marshmallow. Now, just take a delicious bite of your delicious creation, and oh my god, you guys, this is seriously the best s'mores I've ever eaten. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications. You can check out the recipes at mollyscozykitchen.com. Thanks for stopping by.